You probably don't remember the first time you decided you were bad at something. And not just average, like bad, very bad. The kind of bad that makes you never want to try again. The kind of bad that makes you hesitate before you try something new. The kind of bad that makes you hope no one's watching. If you do remember, think about what you did next. Did you try again? Or did you decide, this isn't for me? It was most probably the second one, because somewhere along the way, we learned to associate being bad at something with failure. So, we start doing things we're already good at. We stay in familiar spaces, repeat what works, and call that confidence. But actually, all we're doing is avoiding discomfort. And the truth is, being bad at something isn't the actual problem. Avoiding it is. Good morning. I am Shivprabha, and today I'm going to talk about why being bad at something isn't actually as bad as it seems. In December of 2022, my family and I decided to go to Mount Bromo. It's this beautiful volcano located a few hours from Malang. And to reach it, you have to climb around 250 steps up. I remember the first 50 steps being absolutely fine. I went on, thinking, what's the worst that could happen? But after that is where everything went downhill. I couldn't breathe. With every step, I felt the drop in the temperature, the increase in the altitude, and with this increasing altitude, my lungs barely held on. I felt as if I was in a battle against my own body. And after a while, I cried. And I just couldn't. I couldn't complete it. I remember feeling so embarrassed that day because it was so easy for the rest of my family, and all I could do was go back to the starting point and wait for them to come back. And then, in June of 2023, my family decided to go to Kedarnath, a renowned temple of Lord Shiva located in Uttarakhand, India. And to reach it, we had to complete a trek of around 19 kilometers. This was my first time doing something so laborious, so strenuous. Despite that, I agreed to go. The first few kilometers were manageable, but after that, again, I wasn't able to breathe. My lungs just couldn't handle the pressure of the increasing altitude. And on top of that, it started raining cats and dogs. So it got even colder, and the trek even more difficult than it should have been. As I got closer and closer to the temple, I just wanted to give up. I wanted to stop. But then I saw it, the Kedarnath temple, in front of my eyes, covered in these beautiful twinkling lights. And all of a sudden, nothing else really mattered. Because I did it. I did something I thought I was never going to be able to do. But I did it. And that view made everything worthwhile. That trek helped me realize that being bad at something doesn't mean you can't improve. It doesn't automatically make you a failure. It just means you're learning. Being good or perfect at everything all the time is rather pointless because you will never get to learn. You will never understand how to push yourself to do something. But hitting such mental and physical blocks in your journey and still being able to go on, that is the real superpower. A superpower that allows you to become the best version of yourself. Since being able to cover those 19 kilometers, I knew I had it in me to complete that Bromo trek. So, last year, June of 2025, I persuaded my parents to take me back to Mount Bromo once again. Because I realized that just because I couldn't do it the first time, doesn't mean I couldn't do it the second. I realized that failing once didn't make me a failure. It just gave me the opportunity to try again. It gave me the chance to prove to myself that I am capable of doing whatever I want to. I remember standing at that starting point, looking up to see the summit hidden in clouds, and people around me already halfway up. They looked so confident, so experienced. And then there was me. I didn't even know where to begin. But I started anyways. I took my first step. I felt the same pressure on my lungs as I did the first time. I felt the same increase in altitude and decrease in the oxygen level. Except this time, the only difference was I didn't let that stop me. And after an excruciating 2 hours, I had finally made my way to the top. I finally got to see the sunrise of my dreams, and those hues of pink and orange blended together in front of my eyes made every struggle I had just endured worth it. And finally, after all of this, it hit me that maybe I was never trying to reach to the top of any mountain. Maybe that was never my goal. Maybe this entire time, my goal was to stop being afraid of standing at the bottom, of starting from the bottom. Because the truth is, there will always be another such mountain. Another subject you don't understand, another sport you're not good at, another moment where you feel completely out of place. And in such moments, you will have only two options. Either you take a step back, you tell yourself, this isn't for me, and you stay exactly where you are. Or you take that first step. Even if it's shaky, even if you're uncomfortable, because that's not where failure begins. It's where growth does. So, the next time you find yourself at the base of a mountain, not knowing where to begin, not knowing how to begin, just start anyways. Take that first step. Be bad at it. Be uncomfortable while you do it. Be seen, but just do it. Because every step you take while being bad at something is actually a step towards you becoming better. Thank you.